can't wait. With that being said, we have some draft coverage to get to, and we're going to start out in the backfield. We're going to start out with some quarterback rankings. We're going to do our top 5 quarterback rankings, and then we're going to go into our running back rankings. So I hope you guys are ready to go. If you guys are big football fans, this is your chance to dig your teeth into what you're excited about for the NFL draft, who you're excited about, who you think your team's going to take. We can't wait to get you all set up with everything. Chris, you may see me on the screen at FedEx Field if the Commanders get a good draft pick. Ooh, okay. All right. I'll be looking for you, Pierre. If they get a wide receiver or a defensive player, I'll be happy. Okay. So Commanders, you're looking for wide receiver or defensive player. Like it. I like it.
Just any defensive player.
Anything specific, Pierre? What are you looking for specifically? So let's go ahead, Scotty. Let's start out with quarterbacks here. Now, quarterbacks, this isn't technically a big quarterback, like a sexy quarterback draft, but we'll see what ends up coming out of this. Shugs, it is possible to grow your channel. You guys will grind high. I like the show. Thank you so much. Shugsy, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And that's why we're trying to get more people sharing our channel, sharing us on social media, everything else, because we know once people get here, we hope you guys like and enjoy the show. We try to put a lot of work into it for you guys. So
we got some diehards that we know always come back and hang out with us and our lab rats, and we love them. So hopefully once you're here, you stick around, and we cover the gamut of sports. We try and do our best to keep it entertaining, keep it fun, keep you guys involved, because otherwise, I've said it time and time again, I don't like to talk to Chris that much. So if I can talk to you guys rather than Chris, it's really beneficial for me. So you guys being here makes this stream work, because like when we started out and we had no one in here and I just had to talk to Chris, I'm like, I don't know how long I can do this.
It's socials reckoning with the S. There you go. Boom. There's all our socials. Hit us up. We can't wait to have you there. Thanks, Reckoning. You are the best. All right, let's get into it. Sam Howell starts out our quarterback rankings at number 5. So UNC quarterback, 6'1", 218 pounds. You have him player comped to Baker Mayfield.
And that's probably friendly. Let's start off the bat. This quarterback class we're going to talk about is the least exciting class in quite a while. Moab, and we get annoyed with your voice, Scotty. That's fair. I don't think I don't even watch me back because I don't like the way I sound. So I agree. I wish I could change my voice for you too. This class, to me, we're gonna go through the top 5 guys, and I wouldn't even want probably at least 4 of them drafted before the 3rd round. Like, that's how down I am. Like, a lot of these guys are going round 1. I know it. That's just the
people panic.
How the game works. You need a quarterback. You're gonna overdraft a quarterback. You're gonna take a guy in round 1. I don't love this class. Like, this is the worst class since like 2013. And let me drop some names real quick of 2013. 2013 first rounder EJ Manuel.
Okay.
It had the wonderful Matt Barkley in the first round. Mike Glennon, Geno Smith, Tyler Bray.
This is rough.
Like, every single guy in this draft was just a disaster, and I'm a little worried that that's where we're headed with this one. It just doesn't feel like, normally you like leading up to the draft, you hear everyone talking about the QBs, and I feel like almost no one's talking about the quarterbacks in this year, because there's not one guy that you can just be like, all right, this dude is gonna be legit. Like, none of these guys, I think there was probably all 5 guys who got taken in the first round last year, I'd probably say would get drafted ahead of any of these guys if they were in the same draft. That being said, Sam Howell.
Come on, man. Leave my beautiful draft alone. He's like, I'm getting flashbacks of Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota draft class.
That one actually looks a lot better than the one I just listed off. So both those guys are going to start this year, I believe, in Winston and Mariota for their respective teams. So there's that. Mariota now an Atlanta Falcon. and Winston being re-signed in New Orleans, I think they're both going to start. I'm not going to say it's going to go great, but they're both going to start at least. Anyway, when you look at Sam Howell, I had really high hopes prior to this last year of Sam Howell. That offense at North Carolina was dominant. Under Mac Brown, like, he looked smooth. He looked like it was it. And then the Tar Heels were like on, I want to say it was against Virginia Tech, but I could be wrong. They were like the opening game of college football on like a Thursday night. I watched that game, and he looked terrible in it. Terrible. Now, Howell has some skills. He's 6'1", 218, pretty decent. I mean, a little shorter maybe than you'd like, but that's why I kind of comped him to Baker Mayfield. But he's athletic. Actually, he's probably, his legs are better than Baker as far as being able to scramble and extend plays. He can do that. He can, execute an RPO if you like to run an RPO system with a run pass option. He did a lot of that at North Carolina. He's experienced. He's got solid arm strength, not spectacular, but not poor. He will literally throw to any part of the field. So he's not worried about challenging it. His problem, footwork's a disaster. Footwork, to me, I'll start with, a lot of QBs that come out have footwork, so I'm not that concerned with that. But his ball placement at times can be really, really poor. He takes a little too long in the pocket. And for me, he's like a Baker Mayfield, but like, to me, he's actually not where Baker was, obviously, as a prospect. Baker went number 1 overall. You can look at Baker now and question his ability, but I think Baker's in for a rebound year, honestly, unless he goes to Carolina, which someone mentioned. But anyway, that's Sam Howell for me. Yeah,
Sam Howell. By the way, if you guys want your similar to the Speeds and Benchmark show, if you want to throw out some bits and have your message read live on our channel, you could do that as well to highlight what you want to say. Also, throw any of your thoughts of these quarterbacks or anybody else you like in the chat. We like to get to know all of who you're looking at. So Howell, he had a mixed final season. As a junior, 63% of his passes completed on those throws. 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's decent, but he wasn't really impressive at the Senior Bowl. He was better at the combine when he did that in Mobile. But yeah, he's like he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield in a sense, where he's probably going to go day 2, most likely. He's going to be around 2 to 3, but like you said, like, people reach on quarterbacks. So if a team is really super interested in this guy, I could totally see him slotting into like a late round, first round pick. But
I can easily see 5 QBs going in the first round.
Yeah. So
I would hate it for most of those teams, but I could see it. I mean, and I would love it for my Chiefs, because that means more. And the more quarterbacks that are taken, the more elite talent at other positions are there.
Absolutely. And you must be thinking the same thing. Is like, I mean, usually I like to have the Raiders above anywhere we're picking, because usually they will help you regardless of who they pick. They'll reach on a second or third rounder in the first round, and it's fantastic. So you could always bank on the Raiders to do something crazy, but some other teams might mix it in with some quarterbacks here. But who knows? Maybe Sam Howell might pop in and get into the first round. You never know. Justin Fields would have been quarterback 1, says Ty, this year. Sure. Wonder what the money difference would have been. Algorithm Ninja, do you think he could be compared to Sam Darnold? You mean Sam Howell? I think
they both have the same first name, Chris.
Yeah, so that's true. And you know what? I mean, there was a lot more hype coming with Sam Darnold coming out of the draft than there is with Sam Howell. And Sam Darnold hasn't been able to really get anything going in the NFL. Darnold is way bigger. Yep.
Way bigger. Natural talent. Darnold has separation there. Obviously, Darnold like flashes. You see plays from Darnold and you're like, this guy is going to be great. But it's just not often enough. It just doesn't happen a majority of the time. And unfortunately, it looks like Darnold is on a second team now and it's not working. So I don't know where Darnold's headed. So I could see a little bit of Sam Howell there, but Sam Howell just doesn't have the elite skills that Darnold even has, but he can probably process a little better than Darnold.
Great question by Shugsy. What do you guys do outside the show? Yeah, a lot of people who are new to the show may not know that Scotty works for the Colorado Rockies organization. He works, more of the operational side of things when it comes to like tickets and different things like that. So he holds it down. He's over there at Coors Field most of the time. I work mainly in the tech industry. So, a lot of, websites and digital marketing stuff, but this is a hobby for us that we've kind of really grown to be it's grown more than we ever expected it to be as a hobby. So, we love doing this. Maybe one day when if we're big enough, we can make this a cool, thing we could do as a full-time gig, as we grow and as we get bigger. But it's just a hobby. We love doing it. We love talking sports with you guys. So, thank you guys for all being here. It's a lot of fun to share and grow this community. All of our lab rats are incredible. Take it easy on my Capitals tomorrow, Pierre. No shot. I mean, we're
the abs are too hot right now.
Abs are on fire. We'll take it easy though. I'll put in a good word for you, Pierre. Next, number 4 on our quarterback list, Matt Corral. So we have quarterback Ole Miss, 6'2", 212. Comparison to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, very dynamic coming out of college. He was a very raw talent. And you have Matt from Ole Miss here, kind of in that same category.
If you'll remember, maybe it looks bad now, but I'm not giving up hope yet. I loved Zach Wilson in the draft.
You loved him. I mean,
love Zach Wilson.
You love the ceiling. You love ceiling of players, right?
I'm a big ceiling guy.
Yep.
I'm not taking the safe player because what is safe? Safe does not get you Super Bowls.
Nope.
Ceiling and greatness gets you Super Bowl. Look what the Rams did. They got rid of all their draft picks and they added greatness that they knew already existed, and they got themselves a Super Bowl. So I'm high on, and that's why I kind of like it. I think Corral, even though we have him ranked 4th, has the second highest ceiling of any of these quarterbacks in this year's draft. Super quick release. Like the fastest release probably of any of these 5 quarterbacks, can get the ball out quick, which really works for the short passing game. Fluid, pretty elite arm strength, can make all the throws, quality vision as a runner at least, and can actually get outside the pocket and run a little bit. He's a little, 212. You probably want him to bulk up a little, get a little heavier so he can take some more shots, but
TP Poker, absolutely hit us with a question.
Can you ask us a question, please? Please do, so I can stop talking. No, he's just inconsistent. Corral, kind of, like Zach Wilson in his rookie year, obviously, and I think Zach Wilson had an unfair shake with the Jets offense and the talent surrounding him, and a lot of that his first year. So I'm not done on Zach Wilson at all. So comparing this guy to Zach Wilson is not a dig. He's just, he gets a little too reliant on his arm talent alone. His lower body gets a little lazy. He doesn't really step into throws all the time. He just trusts his arm a little too much. These are things you can learn. I like Matt Corral a lot. If I were a team in the 3rd round, I'm saying he's probably, the problem is his floor could be, he's a disaster. He's an unmitigated disaster. But his ceiling is where I take a shot in the 3rd round. Now, he's going to get drafted in the 1st round. So that's a whole different level, but it's going to happen.
Boss Hog, appreciate the love. This is great. I listen to local sports radio all day, and it's nice to get some outside perspective and interaction. Great show. Gonna lay down, but listen. Hey, you two rock, bro. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. It's great to have you guys. I hope you guys yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoy the content. And, we do NBA stuff. We do NHL stuff once we get to playoffs. We do all sorts of different sports. NFL is our big one, so we'll get into NFL. A lot of action in the NFL once the season kicks off as well. But World Cup, we'll be doing some World Cup stuff too. But mainly, we're in on football, basketball, the baseball, all that good stuff. So hope you guys, if you have any questions on anything, hit us with it. Just like Algorithm and TP Poker are doing. Do you think Matt Corral would be a good fit with the Titans and is similar to Jake Plummer?
He's not the size. I mean, Jake Plummer was a bit taller. I think I don't know that they're that similar. I think Matt Corral's going to be more, hey, if you can design an offense where you can get the ball out quick, design quick, get in space, if you have weapons on the outside, he's going to work really well.
Yep.
Was the question the Titans there?
Yes.
They have AJ Brown. They traded for Robert Woods. So listen, Ryan Tannehill's the starter there, but it's not an impossible climb to outpace Ryan Tannehill at some point. Clearly, Ryan Tannehill hasn't been able to get them over the top. So there's a problem there. They could use a QB. Is Matt Corral, could he be the guy? Yes. Is he the guy? We'll see.
I'll touch on him in a second. Degrees, welcome in. First time chatter, first time viewer. Who's your favorite team and where are you from? Like to get to know you a little bit. I don't think any of these QBs are worth drafting. We kind of said that. It's like, you're not high on any of these guys. And for any team that does take any of these quarterbacks, it's probably not going to be a promising, like, you're not getting a franchise quarterback for years and years to come. There's not like a sure thing for sure with any of these quarterbacks, but there's some things that make a couple of these guys a little bit more exciting. But you're right. There's not a lot of excitement around him. TP Poker, what are the possibilities that there are no QBs taken in the first round? In addition, what are your thoughts on Carson Strong from Nevada? So for your first question, I mean, there are teams that get aggressive, right? Teams get desperate. And when you're desperate, crazy things happen to desperate people, right? We all know desperate people do wild things. So could it be in the realm of possibility that a quarterback is taken in the first round? Yes, it could creep up there, but it most likely will. You're right.
There's no way there's not at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. It's just the lay of the land. Like, quarterback is the single most important team position or position in team sports, I should say, in all of sports. Yep. If you're playing a team sport and you don't have a quarterback, you can't. It's impossible to win. It's impossible. And you can win games. You can win a lot of regular season games, man. But the ultimate prize, you can't do.
Become a lab rat, says Diacola. Hit that follow button. Hey, we haven't seen any Shaq shimmies. Let's hit that follow button.
We saw a Shaq shimmy. Somebody did.
Yeah, we saw a couple. Yeah, we saw a couple come through.
TP, on your second point, Carson Strong was probably number 6 if we had 6 guys. I like his, stature in the pocket. I like that he likes to push the ball downfield. He's certainly a guy that's going to take chances and willing to test teams vertically. My issue with him is, there's the knee injury from high school to the 2020 season that like really, really impacted him health wise at Nevada. And my other issue, he's just not a guy that can go off script. He's not athletic, not going to provide you a lot with his legs, can't really do a lot, even extending plays. So in today's NFL, it's just very, very hard to get a guy. And now, to be fair, Matthew Stafford just won a Super Bowl, and he's not a guy that provides anything outside of his arm. So it's possible, but it's just so many of these elite guys in the league now are guys that are able to not only do it with their arm, but extend plays with their legs. And Carson Strong just doesn't have that ability.
Corral completed 68% of his passes, 3,349 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Pretty good. Rushed for 11 touchdowns, 597 yards as well. Solid in the pre-draft processes. He's an accurate passer, strong arm, developed field vision. So he's going to be, he's raw. Like I said, he could have a little more upside than some of these other guys from a ceiling standpoint, but keep an eye on him to move maybe up some draft boards. Right now, projected between, there's a wide range for him. He could go anywhere in the first round all the way up to the third and drop a little bit further. But again, to your point, Sky, there might be a few more quarterbacks taken in the first round than you would expect, especially with this draft not being a heavy quarterback draft. Next up, and then let's get to some of the people in the chat here. We have a lot going on. If Malik Willis falls to Pitt, they will 100% take him.
I'd be shocked if he falls that far, Willis, but that feels like a perfect match in Pittsburgh with Willis. I would agree. If he's there, they're taking him, and they might move up to take him. Yep. Obviously, Pittsburgh needs needs a quarterback.
Also, look up the list of second-round quarterbacks in the last 15 years. Jimmy G and Jalen Hurts are probably the best second-rounders in a while. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy G still kind of looking... There's a weird spot with him, whether he's looking for a home, and Trey Lance, there's that kind of that awkwardness there in San Francisco. And Jalen Hurts is starting to develop a little bit more in Philadelphia. So, we'll see if he ends up continuing to take a couple steps forward in those progressions. Do you think teams are worried about his ankle injury and suffered during the bowl game? Says Algorithm. And welcome at 666. It's been a while. How you doing, 666? How we doing?
How's it going? Let's go. Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett is, to me, the safest of these five, which means I'm bored to talk about him. I don't like safe. But what I will say is he's very experienced. I think he was at Pittsburgh for 5 years. I do think he has, of all these guys, probably the least physical talents, but maybe right now at least the mental aspect of the game, getting the ball out on time. His feet are in the right place a lot of times. His internal clock feels pressure, and he will put it in a spot where the wide receiver may not be yet. So as far as that landscape, like Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's arm strength, pretty poor. And here's the worst news for Kenny Pickett. They had to measure his hands at the senior
oh man,
or at the combine.
And did you see all the memes from his hands?
I mean, his hands are so small.
No.
They're just so small, and no guy wants to just get that put out for the world to hear. Like, I got small hands, that's not a good sign. I don't think he's married, so don't know if he'll ever be at this point. But small hands, and you could say like, oh, what does it matter? He fumbled quite a bit at Pittsburgh. He really, really struggled actually to throw the ball in the Senior Bowl in the rain when it was raining at the Senior Bowl. His arm strength isn't there. There's just the physical tools aren't there for me. The mental aspect of the game I like a lot, but some of that's he's also like 24 years old already. He's like aged. He was at Pittsburgh a long time. I wouldn't. His 4.7 340 doesn't do a lot outside the pocket. I wouldn't. We have him at 3 because he could be like he has a pretty high floor, I guess, as far as like a dependable maybe backup. But that's about it for me.
Yeah, he's definitely, he stands out with his accuracy. He also throws a very catchable ball, processes information pretty quickly overall, makes good decisions. He can be an aggressive passer, so I think that there are some things that really go for him when it comes to those attributes. However, yeah, you're right. He's not like an athletic guy. He's not a guy that's going to really be a freak athlete for you for any particular and then that's the reason why a lot of these quarterbacks are coming off the boards. When you see the Trey Lance, pretty athletic. You see guys like Lamar Jackson, and guys in the league that could really move. Your boy Patrick Mahomes, a lot of guys like that. So when you have the small hands, you have like the less athletic ability. You're kind of banking on the accuracy and all the other aspects of the pocket passing quarterback. So, from that standpoint, I think that he is one of the better options here. Projected, there's some projections in the top 16 that have him going pretty high in the first round. So we'll see what he ends up dropping to. But
our chat's not too high on him.
Yeah.
We got Brandon Whedon comps, which he's at least taller than Brandon Whedon, and he might be. Brandon Whedon was drafted at like 30, which was weird.
We got Jake Fromm, Chris Winkie, Mason Rudolph. You guys are bringing it tonight.
These are not comps that Kenny Pickett wants to hear. He's like, between those comps and his small hands, he's probably seeing a therapist right now.
Yep. I mean, poor Kenny Pickett, right? Poor guy. Football wife's cracking up. Pickett also fumbles 38 times in 52 games, says Degrees. Yeah, 100%.
That's almost hard to. I don't know. I assume you're right on that stat, Degrees. That's a crazy amount of fumbles.
I wanted
Dorsey, another bad one.
I want to get to another one here. I think, where was it? So TPP Poker, something tells me Pickett is going to stink it up. 666, I'm pleasantly surprised you remember me, bro. I knew there's a reason why I'm following your channel. Yeah, there we go. We don't forget you. You were in the you were one of our first followers, actually. You were in our we remember you. And I think TP Poker said you knew someone who's going to get drafted as well.
Yeah, he said someone out of Akron, like a D tackle out of Akron.
Nice.
That's like your cousin or something.
Pretty sweet, man. I hope he does.
Awesome.
Hey, give him the best, and maybe we could get him on the show. Tell him to come on our show. It's not a big show by any means, but hey, we'd love to interview him.
We'll hype him up.
We'll
say he's the next. He's a D tackle. He's the next Aaron Darnold. Obviously,
maybe we get him in. Like people start watching our show, and we end up getting him into a second round, first round pick. He starts climbing draft boards, Scotty.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep.
He'll do it for a box of Pringles.
There's a box. How many sets of cans are in a box of Pringles? Because that might be too much, Chris. I don't know if we can budget that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That sounds great.
Kenny
Respect
Pickett
already. He likes Pringles. Respect.
Yeah. I like the spicy Pringles, by the way. Kenny Pickett equals Ken Dorsey. This is like I feel like this is like a meme that we need to turn into like some sort of like a emote or something. You guys have just created a meme. Kenny Pickett equals blank. We should just do that, like average, and it's just a average meme. You keep them rolling. I don't know much about the NFL guys because I'm from UK, but I think it'd be an interesting fact that you might know. But in case you didn't, Tom Brady announced his retirement, and after that, he announced that he's not ready. You guys tonight, you guys thought, why did he do that? Well,
he tried to become a part owner and quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. That's why he did it.
Create a Kenny Pickett TikTok, LOL. I'm going to. It's going to happen. Algorithm.
What if it's like a picket line, Chris, with signs like hand size doesn't matter? I don't know.
His hands need to be big enough to hold the Pickett signs.
Oof. Well, it'll be a toothpick.
We'll give him a toothpick.
Roger.
All right.
Man, hopefully Kenny's not watching.
If Kenny Pickett's watching this show,
we ranked him as 3, and we roasted him way more than the 4 or 5 guys.
We should just cancel the rest of what we had planned tonight and just do a Kenny Pickett roast sesh and just have everybody Kenny Pickett equals blank. Brady came to Manchester and watched the game at the Old Trafford. I saw that picture when he did that. Scored a hat trick, and after the game, he there was some shuffling with quarterbacks and different things out there, like in Tampa Bay too. I mean, coaches. Like, there's some conspiracies we've discussed on why. But yeah, it's Tom Brady. And
real quick, because it's brought up, the ultimate conspiracy theory, right? So the reason this whole Miami thing supposedly fell apart was because of the lawsuit that occurred with Flores and all this. Which what instigated all of this kind of weird racial stuff in this offseason, Chris? It was Bill Belichick accidentally texting his assistant coach that you got the job, thinking he was texting someone else. Next level. Do you think Bill Belichick started this whole train knowing what was happening in Miami?
Are we getting into
Bill Belichick sabotaged Tom Brady's chance to move on from Tampa to be a part owner and quarterback for the Miami Dolphins? Because I do, Chris. I think it happened.
We got roast sessions. We got conspiracy theories.
We gotta dive into that at some point because I got a lot of things. It's like it all comes full circle with Belichick.
Kenny Pickett equals Todd Maranovich. They keep coming, man. You guys are hitting them. I'm talking about 2 different sports. Yeah, 666. I know. We got you. There's a lot of weird things happening with the Tom Brady stuff. Sean Payton was supposed to go down to Miami and coach as well. Ronaldo's GOAT in football still is this. Yep. Kenny Pickett equals Duck. Yes. Reckoning.
Like Chuck Hodges.
All right. Next up on our rankings is Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
Quarterback, Cincinnati, 6'3", 211, 4.52 40, comparison to Ryan Tannehill. We have Desmond Ritter here at number 2 on our rankings for quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ritter. I think Ritter, you look at that 4.52, you look at the comp to Tannehill. I think people sleep on how athletic Tannehill was. Like, Tannehill was a wide receiver at the start of his career at Texas A&M before becoming quarterback. So Desmond Ritter can do some things outside the pocket. He has natural arm talent. Easy to get the ball to all levels of the field. Pretty solid. Not like elite. We're not talking like Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, but we're talking very, very solid arm strength. No concerns there. I think his hand size is fine. Chris, I don't recall anyone calling out his hand size.
No toothpicks for Desmond Ritter.
Yeah. Desmond Ritter's issue is he's got to speed up his clock. He, at Cincinnati held on to the ball a little too long, needs to, get some more urgency, deliver that first, second, get to that, those third options and develop that a little more. That can be taught. So I think he has a lot of natural talent. I don't know if he has, like, when you look at him though, would I say he's an elite at anything? He's not elite at everything. He's very, very talented in a lot of topics or a lot of traits, but there's not one thing I'm like, he does this and he would be instantly, like, if he develops, he's top 5 in the league at this, at the quarterback position. I just don't see it. So at best, his ceiling to me is like a middling top, around 12, 13, 14 guy in the league. And that's at best. That's at best case scenario.
I mean, led the Bearcats in blowouts over Miami of Ohio and Murray State before having some ugly moments and back and forth game against Indiana. Played well overall in Cincinnati. In 2021, completed 65 of his passes, 3,300 yards, 330 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So, people like him. But yeah, I think he didn't really impress at the Senior Bowl as much as people would have expected. But worked out well at the combine. So some team sources like him a little higher. Some team sources don't like him as high. Right now, projected rounds for Ritter is around 2 to 4 in that 2 to 4 range. So we'll see where he ends up landing. But let's see. Arm strength is subpar at best. I think Ritter's most pro ready, says Degrees.
I think his arm strength's fine.
Threw like 3 passes over 45 yards in college, put his whole body to throw on, but still underthrew it. Well, that would be
I agree. He constantly underthrew deep balls. I don't think that's about arm strength though. I think that's more about he's just not like. You can have a strong arm and not throw a good deep ball.
He'll be great at the pass interference calls that are always. Yeah, if you want a guy that's going to underthrow a long ball for pass interference, like we've seen all last year in the NFL,
Derek Carr.
Desmond Ritter's your man. He will be your number 1 draft pick if that's the case.
Derek Carr just got paid $40+ million to underthrow deep balls.
Football wife, go Bearcats. Bearcats fan here. All right. Tannehill, worst pocket presence of any quarterback I've ever watched. Signed all Miami Dolphins fans, says Ty. There we go.
He's been a little more successful outside of the Miami program. I'm just saying. I don't even like Tannehill, but
top 12 guy is a playoff quarterback. That is a lofty goal.
I agree. That's like if he reaches his peak as top 12. I don't actually see top 12.
Let's see. Do you think Ritter's a poor man's Russell Wilson? Derek Carr is a rich man, says TPP Poker. Yeah,
exactly. Poor man's Russell. I mean, he's like 5 inches taller than Russell, so they're on a different plane on that. I don't know that I see them overly comparable. I mean, Russell's best trait is his deep ball, and Ritter right now can't throw a deep ball.
Yep.
Not because of arm strength, but just because he's just the accuracy. It's always underthrown, though. It's weird. He either throws it on too short of a line or he lofts it up too much. It's bizarre.
Degrees, I don't know the stats on a 45-yarder, so don't quote it. I'm going to quote you. I'm going to hold you to that, Degrees. Nah, just playing. We don't worry too much about it. It's fine. Malik Willis, quarterback, Liberty, 6'1", 219, comes out at our number 1 ranking when it comes to quarterbacks on our list. Comparable to Jalen Hurts is who we have him here in some of what he can do. What do you got here on Malik Willis wrapping up our quarterbacks top 5?
I mean, this is easily the guy I'm the most excited about of these quarterbacks. I'm not saying he's going to be good, but there's traits there. There's elite traits there. His athleticism, his arm strength, his ability to throw it off platform, everything is there. Now the problem is his ball placement is erratic. Like, his accuracy is not there right now. His ability, like, he's late sometimes. He does a lot of things, and his accuracy is just not where you want it to be, especially on the short to intermediate. I think deep, he's pretty good. I think, listen, his athleticism is great. We talk about Jalen Hurts here. I've also seen a Trey Lance comparison. So a couple of guys that you can think of, and he's 219, 6'1". He's athletic. You like this guy. Obviously, at Liberty, he dominated. You want to see what he can do, against elite talent. He was at Auburn originally before leaving for Liberty. I like this guy just because he has all the traits. Do they amount to anything? We'll see.
TP Poker. I mean, Cuban Benny's not here, but he's filling in. His girlfriend likes his ball placement. I mean, reckoning. Where would Rudolph be in this draft class for quarterbacks? For reference, he was 3rd rounder in 2018.
He'd probably be right in the middle of this 5. Probably around 3rd.
When he's playing good teams like Ole Miss, I think he played terrible, says Degrees.
But you have to keep in mind that he's playing against a team that's far more talented than the guys he's playing with as well. So I think that's a little unfair. And Boss Hogg kind of
Boss Hogg has
that he played against lesser competition, but he played with lesser athletes as well. So it's not like Liberty had Randy Moss on the outside against these lesser competition teams. So no, I mean you've seen plenty of guys that go to these smaller schools and play well at the NFL level. So it doesn't worry me. What worries me is his inconsistency with ball placement.
Yeah.
And his ability to put it accurately in the short to intermediate. But otherwise, like, the dude has traits and confidence, and I like him. And by I like him more than any of these other guys because I think his traits are far superior when you put them all together.
Yeah, completed 61% of his passes, 2,857 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 13 rushing touchdowns, and 878 yards on the ground. So pretty solid there as well. Super strong arm strength. I mean, it's funny you were describing him a little bit, and I kind of got like the first name that came into my mind with this, with like, a super talented player taking chances and maybe not being super accurate, but still has a high potential, is like a Jameis Winston. Like Jameis Winston, I mean, he can definitely sling the ball around. He has arm strength. He could do it, but he also is going to have a ton of interceptions. He's going to, rack up touchdowns and interceptions, but, he's still kind of, I mean.
Yeah. I'd see Jameis was, even though he throws pick, was more accurate, but Malik's a better athlete.
Yeah. Let's see what else do we got here. Which quarterback went small school and transit? Which quarterback went to a small school and it translated to the NFL spot? Ben Roethlisberger went to a smaller school.
Miami, Ohio. Tony Romo, I know he didn't win any, but he went to a smaller school. I'm drawing. Like Flacco won a Super Bowl. Hate on Flacco.
Flacco went to Delaware.
Flacco went to Delaware and Delaware State, maybe? Was it Delaware? Either way.
Steve McNair, Alcorn State.
Alcorn. Like, it can definitely happen. Obviously, you want to point now to, we'll see what Trey Lance,
Carson Wentz.
Jury's out. I was gonna bring up Carson Wentz, but I didn't want to ruin it for everyone by bringing up Carson Wentz. Taiwan. I did say Tony Romo. I did say Tony Garoppolo. If you like, I mean, Garoppolo made a Super Bowl. You can hate Garoppolo all you want, but Garoppolo made a Super Bowl.
I mean, Kurt Warner came from bagging groceries. That was it. I mean, that was a
Ryan
thing.
Fitzpatrick. I don't know if you knew this, Chris, but Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard.
I mean, just throwing that out there. I just worry about that totally justified, Boss Hog. I mean, bigger quarterbacks in bigger conferences tend to, be higher up on people's radars. They play against bigger, stronger competition, most NFL ready talent in like the SEC and some of these other conferences. So yeah, I mean,
But sometimes quarterbacks that are on elite teams get hyped, their wide receivers, their offensive line play carry them and they look better than they really are. So you could take it either